Immediately before that, we knew he had a reputation of being a bridge builder, a bridge burner. He's burned people before, and we all knew about it.
The biggest rematch of your life. You get a cut 10 days before the fight in your eyebrow? Like, who are you training with, bro?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. The UFC Rivalry Heats Up. As you know, Tony Ferguson has always been a bit of an oddball when it comes to his training. Interestingly, this guy built his outdoor gym up in Big Bear, California, and trained all alone. That's pretty unorthodox, right? But what caught our attention was that Charles Oliveira was nice enough to invite Tony to his camp, and Tony turned it down. And then, just this week, there's this accusation against Ferguson. Vince Pichel, a fellow lightweight in the UFC, claims that Tony roughed up a training partner who was recovering from an injury. At this point, the whole MMA community wondered what exactly went down in that training session.
Immediately before that, we knew he had a reputation of being a bridge builder, a bridge burner. He's burned people before, and we all knew about it. And so Big John kind of came up to us and was like, "Hey, Tony Ferguson wants to train with us, yada yada." And at first, I'm like, you know what, fuck that guy. He's a scumbag. I don't trust him, right? But on the other end, he'd be a good partner. So let's just let him come in and let's train with him and see how he does. If he fits in with us, like shit, he might fit, right? I might just be an asshole, and he could fit in with us. So we're like, let's do it. So he comes in one day. And then I'm just coming back in the gym. I had a very bad neck injury. I don't even remember how I messed my neck. I want to say it was like dirt bike riding or something. I had a real bad neck injury, so I wasn't training. And I had just gotten back in the gym, and I was still a little like injured, but like kind of getting over that hump, right, and starting to get better.
However, Tony Ferguson has been all over the place when it comes to his training camps. He's switched around quite a bit. But according to his recent talk with Ariel Helwani a couple of weeks ago, and Tony was talking about how he's back with his old camp again. He seemed pretty excited about it, and he thought that going back to his roots would help him, especially in his upcoming fight against Pimblett. Now we all are curious to see if this change will make a difference in his performance. Let's see what will happen next inside the octagon. Fans are concerned for Kamaru Usman. Man, there's some drama brewing in the world of UFC. So, Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare, is making a comeback on just 10 days' notice to face the undefeated Chechen beast, Khamzat Chimaev, in the co-main event of UFC 294. People were already doubting Usman because of the short notice and his history of knee injuries. Tough odds, right? But what got fans worked up was this open workout session where it looked like Usman might have injured himself. Shortly, Gethia showed concern, asking Usman if he was okay. However, it seemed like Usman might have said, "Something popped." That's never a good sign, especially when you're about to step into the octagon in such a high-stakes fight. Then, to ease fans' worries, Justin Gaethje jumped on social media to explain that he thought Usman had smacked his head on the mat, which made him ask if he was all right. Here, the tension is building up for this fight, and it's not even fight night yet. He said, "I'm good," or something like that. I thought he hit his head on the mat. I asked him if he hit his head in this clip when we got up, and he said no, Gethia wrote on X. And after all that fuss, Gethia didn't stop there. He went on to post 2 more updates, giving us some extra details about what went down. It's like he's keeping us in the loop with the whole story. He said, "I'm gonna go with Cosmo to be exact," Gethia added. Alexander, the guy he immediately started hitting pads with. Even after Gethia's explanation, some fans still had their doubts. Due to this situation, Usman abruptly ended it, and he seemed to be clutching his left knee and shaking out his leg. That's not a great sign, especially if he's going into a fight with Khamzat Chimaev, who's known for his takedowns. McGregor goes too far about Makhachev. Once again, Conor McGregor just can't seem to keep quiet. So ahead of UFC 294 this weekend, the former two-weight champ had some harsh words for the current lightweight champ, Islam Makhachev. Surprisingly, he's been on a bit of a rant, claiming that Makhachev is the product of inbreeding, which is a pretty serious accusation. And of course, he had to bring up his arch-enemy, Khabib Nurmagomedov, again. On the other hand, Makhachev stepped in on short notice to take on Alexander Volkanovski in a lightweight title defense, and he's been getting some major props for it. But McGregor isn't holding back, and he's calling Makhachev out with some pretty harsh words. It's all heating up before the big fight this weekend, UFC drama at its finest. This guy, Islam Makhachev, is a number sick, Conor McGregor said of Islam Makhachev on his official X account. This is what happens when cousins have sex and have a child together. This is the result. But here's an update. Conor is gearing up for a comeback, and it looks like it's happening next year. Rumor has it that he's eyeing a fight with Michael Chandler, and get this, at welterweight. That's something to look forward to in 2024. It's always interesting when McGregor's in the mix. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love your support. Just hit that subscribe button to motivate us to bring you more exciting content. Awkward encounter between two fighters. Alex Volkanovski, the featherweight champ, is all set to face Islam Makhachev in their headlining match at UFC 294. But get this, it's all happening on pretty short notice, just 11 days. This came about because Charles Oliveira had to pull out due to an injury. Now, Volkanovski had initially planned to be in the crowd at UFC 294, but instead, he's got this shot at becoming a double champ, holding two different UFC belts at the same time. But what's got people talking is that apparently Makhachev tried to intimidate Volkanovski when they bumped into each other at a hotel in Abu Dhabi. You can imagine the tension building up before the fight, and Alex didn't hold back. He spilled the beans to reporters about what went down during that awkward encounter. In an interview, he gave his statement. Actually, one thing that happened yesterday, I don't know if he was trying to mean mug me, but he was looking at me trying to give evil, he said. But that's gonna be pretty hard. Now, my fight enthusiasts, it's getting spicy. So Makhachev is out here saying that Volkanovski has an excuse to lose because he took the fight on super short notice, just 11 days. But guess what? Volkanovski isn't having any of it. Confidently, he's dismissing those comments. This whole nothing to lose talk is silly, Volkanovski said. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of pressure on Islam, and I understand that, but I have to take this rematch that I want so badly, this lightweight title. And we talk about legacy. If I were to lose, my legacy would take a big hit. Overall, these two are throwing down the challenge before the fight. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Shocking accusation revealed after UFC 294. Withdrawal. Lastly, this whole situation with Charles Oliveira pulling out of UFC 294 has got everyone talking. Originally, it was set up for Oliveira to go toe-to-toe with Islam Makhachev for the UFC lightweight championship, but then a twist occurred and he's out. Enter Alexander Volkanovski, who's now stepping in on short notice to face Makhachev for the second time. But the big question is, what's next for Charles Oliveira? Some people are giving him a hard time, saying he went too hard in his training camp just 2 weeks before the fight. And here comes Bilal Muhammad with an interesting perspective. He's suggesting that maybe Oliveira wanted this change all along.
Charles got what he wanted. He's not fighting in Abu Dhabi. As a fighter, you understand the game, right? The training is the hardest part. But the biggest fight of your life, the biggest rematch of your life, you get a cut 10 days before the fight in your eyebrow. Like, who are you training with, bro? I've been in the training room. I've seen it happen, right? Anthony Pettis, before his fight with Dustin Poirier, 1 week before, he got split open. Eyebrow cut to the core, and I was like, why did this happen a week before the fight? The world didn't know about it. Anthony got it surgically repaired, stitched up. It opened up in the fight, but he still went in there and fought. To me, Charles never wanted to go to Abu Dhabi. He never wanted to fight in enemy territory, as he said. He wanted it where he wanted it. Do I say he did it purposely? Who knows? But he chose not to fight.
Now it's a twist in the plot of this fight saga. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds. All right, guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you at the next one. Until then, goodbye.